Hello everyone, this is Scott Barino and this is my final project presentation for ITN 160 Summer 2022. And what I chose to do for my project is a very basic MP3 player. So I will get that application loaded up. And this is the graphical user interface that I used or created using the GUI Zero library module. So as you can see, the main box is my application. Did a little title. Also used the menu bar widget that would allow me to exit the program. And then that used a very basic two-dimensional list to set that up. Then I have a couple of push buttons. So here I got one that's going to allow us to select a song. Then I have one that once the songs are selected and placed within the list box, I'll be able to play the song, stop the song, or pause the song. And then I also use the slider widget that will allow me to adjust the volume up or down. So everything above this black line is in one box using the box widget, and then I also use the second box widget down here on the bottom for the control buttons. So basic functionality for my project, as I mentioned, would be using the GUI Zero capabilities with the pop-up to select a file. Then I would just browse to my music folder on my computer. I was able to find these songs for free download in MP3 or WAV file format. So I'm just adding these into the GUI Zero list box widget. And then you just select the song and then hit the push button for play. And I could stop the song, hit play to start it again. Click the pause button to pause it. Hit it again, starts where it left off. To get to the next song, I need to select it, highlight it with the mouse. Pause on pause. And then I can adjust the volume with the slider. So overall with this project, I'm very happy with the progress that I made, considering the fact that I had no programming experience prior to starting the course, and after only 12 weeks I was able to create a graphical user interface program that allows me to select songs that are on my computer and play them back, stop, and unpause them. But a couple things to point out from this project. Built in with my very limited programming experience, I was able to quickly find out that GUI Zero, although it's very helpful in many regards for creating a graphical user interface, there are definitely some limitations, especially when it comes to the list box. What I found out is I wanted to originally be able to skip to the next song by clicking a button or going back to the previous song using a push button. However, I was not able to implement a list to import into the list box widget, which would have allowed me to create an iterative structure to skip or go back a song. So in my research trying to figure out this problem, I did come across, of course, tkinter, which GUI Zero is based off of. And I think because of the basic knowledge that I learned using GUI Zero, it's not going to be as daunting when I go to continue working on this project after the class ends to implement the functionalities from tkinter. They do have a more robust list box widget, or I guess wouldn't even be widget, just the functionality built in that does allow for importing the items of a list into the list box, and then being able to use the indice values to do that iterative structure to go forward, to go backwards. I also wanted to put in a counter to show where you're at time-wise within the song, and I think just based off of my limited experience coupled with the way GUI 0 works, that would have been a challenge to do as well, but I would be very comfortable, I think, at this point, once I get some more knowledge with TK-Enter, to use that method to get a more robust MP3 player. So one area, that did give me a bit of a challenge that I was able to figure out was when it came to pausing and unpausing the music. So I did end up going to an iterative structure to do that, having to implement a flag variable, which I called pause state, and then just trying to get the logic to line up. That was, for me, a challenge, is trying to logically think about how to phrase the statements that I needed to make. So using that if not pause state, and after a lot of trial and error, I was able to get that pause functionality to work out again. So as I mentioned, I definitely plan on working on this project once the course is over, and really getting in and utilizing the functionalities that TK-Enter itself provides. I'm also using the OS module to better point to the file locations, because another thing that I want to work on, which I had some challenges with using GUI 0, is getting this path taken out so that the user will only see the name of the song, potentially who the song is by, just so that it's a cleaner user interface. And I definitely found ways using TK-Enter to be able to take those out on the display for the user, how to build them back in on the back end on the programming side, so the program is able to follow the correct path to retrieve the selected files. So definitely you'll be using that. Also found in the library for Mutagen, which I planned on using, but just once again, because of my limited experience and time constraints, didn't get to use it. But providing more song information to the user, I will definitely be able to utilize that library to provide some more of that functionality. So once again, here's my MP3 player. Been a great class. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your summer.